Angelina.
My name is Vanessa.
And today we're going to be making Epiphany bread! I'm going to be showing you how to make two different flavors of Epiphany bread today. The first with cherry topping and the second with chocolate chip topping. Both have a delicious custard filling. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's get started. Dissolve 1 tablespoon of sugar in 1/2 cup of water, 110 degrees Fahrenheit, and add 1 packet of yeast. Set aside for a few minutes to allow the yeast to activate. Zest the rind of 1 orange. You should see bubbles forming on the surface of your yeast. This will let you know that your yeast has been properly activated. Doesn't it smell good?
Yes.
Want to sniff it? Make sure that your yeast mixture stays at a temperature of 100 to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. In a separate bowl, combine together 1/2 cup milk and 1/2 cup butter. Warm it in the microwave until the butter is just melted. Set aside. In a standing mixer using a whisk attachment on low speed, combine your wet ingredients. Start by adding your eggs and your sugar. Mix each ingredient before adding the next ingredient on low speed on your mixer. Next, add your mixture of melted butter and milk. Next, add your yeast. Next, add in your vanilla extract, orange extract, and orange zest. Make sure your mixture is warm, but not hot, to keep the yeast activated. That smells so good.
It smells delicious.
In a separate bowl, combine together your dry ingredients, 5 cups of flour and 1 teaspoon of salt. Add the flour mixture to the wet ingredients gradually, mixing with a spoon or mixing on low speed to avoid the flour flying out of the mixture.
Oopsie.
Mix with your dough hook attachment for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes of mixing, your dough will be quite sticky. Add another 1/4 cup of flour and mix for another 2 minutes.
It's going around and around and around.
Isn't this fun?
Yeah.
Place your dough in a lightly greased bowl. Place it in. Turn it once to coat both sides. Cover with plastic wrap to keep moist. Place it in a warm area for about an hour and a half or until it doubles in size. For the custard filling, you will need the yolk from 4 eggs.
Oh, no egg.
Pour that in there. 1, 2, 3,
4,
You can save the egg whites to use later for the egg wash on top of the bread.
Now what do we do?
Now we're going to start mixing ingredients for your custard. You have your 4 egg yolks. You're going to combine 2/3 cup of sugar. We'll give that a little mix. Next, add 1.5 cups whole milk. Mix thoroughly. Want to stir?
Mm-hmm.
The next step is important to get a smooth custard. We're going to pour the custard mixture through this wire strainer to remove any lumps. Next, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of flour and 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. We're going to combine the flour and the cornstarch together. And we're going to sift it into our mixture. This helps to ensure that there's no lumps. As I do that, Vanessa, will you stir? All of this sifting and straining helps to make sure we have a nice smooth custard without any lumps. Soften 4 tablespoons of salted butter in a microwave-safe bowl. It's important to make sure that the butter is just melted but is not hot, because as you add your butter to your eggs, you don't want to make scrambled eggs. So I'm going to take my 4 tablespoons of butter and I'm going to pour it in there, and as I do that, I want you to go ahead and keep stirring constantly the whole time as I'm adding that in there. We're going to add the 4 tablespoons of salted butter slowly to our custard mix. Next, we're going to microwave this for about 10 to 12 minutes in about 1 to 2 minute segments, stirring in between until we have the consistency of custard.
Making custard, we're making custard, we're making custard.
We have about 2 cups of custard total. We're going to be making half of our custard chocolate and the other half vanilla. So we're going to separate half of our custard mixture into a separate container. And to make the chocolate, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of unsweetened cocoa. You want to stir that?
Mm-hmm. You should hold that.
We're going to place our vanilla custard and chocolate custard into 2 separate piping bags. Maybe I'll do the chocolate. Okay, hold this. I'll lick the beater. Go ahead and lick it. Set your custard aside and allow it to come to room temperature as your dough finishes rising. After about an hour and a half, you should have a dough that has about doubled in size. As you can see here, our dough is nice and risen. We're going to go ahead and uncover the dough, and then we're going to punch the dough down. You want to punch it? Nice! We'll flip this out onto a lightly floured surface. And we're going to start to roll out our dough into a rectangle. We want it to be a rectangle about 24 inches across and 16 inches wide. Go ahead and put a little flour on your rolling pin. Grab some, put a little flour on your rolling pin so it doesn't stick. We're going to start with the rolling pin in the center, and we're going to roll outward from the center in all 4 directions. We have our dough rolled out to about 16 inches by 24 inches. So now we're going to slice the dough lengthwise into 4 equal rectangles, approximately 4 inches wide by 24 inches long. Using your piping bags, we're going to squeeze a line of chocolate custard or vanilla custard into the center of each rectangle. We'll need 2 rectangles for each king cake. And so you're going to do 2 lines of chocolate on these 2, and I'm going to do 2 lines of vanilla on these 2. Are you ready? Let's do it. We're going to roll each of these into a tube. Go ahead and grab your bread. Fold it over the top. Perfect. And the other side. I'm going to roll it seam side down. Making sure that you have the seam side down, we're going to make an X out of 2 of our tubes. Cross it. And then from the middle, we're going to twist into a twist. Twist your side. We're going to lift the center onto this pan. And ready to wrap yours around? And we'll connect the ends together. Cover your dough in plastic and allow it to rise until it doubles in size, about an hour. We're going to make an egg wash to go on the top of the bread to make it nice and shiny. We're going to need to mix together 1 egg white and about a tablespoon of water. We had 4 egg whites left over from when we made the custard, so I took about 1/4 of that and put it in this bowl, and we've added 1 tablespoon of water to that. And go ahead and give that a mix. After about an hour, your dough will have risen. You can uncover the dough and brush the top of your bread with an egg wash. Now we're going to decorate our bread. The chocolate bread is going to have dark chocolate chips on top, and the other bread is going to have cherries on top. Do you want to do the chocolate one?
Yes.
All right, let's start decorating. You did a good job decorating that bread.
You did a good job decorating the bread.
Now that your bread is decorated, it's time to bake. Preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Bake your bread for 30 minutes until golden brown. While your bread is cooling, we're going to go ahead and make the glaze to go on top. For the glaze, you're going to need 2 cups of confectioner's sugar or powdered sugar, about a tablespoon of lemon juice, a couple tablespoons of milk. We're going to start by making half of this recipe regular glaze and the other half chocolate. So we're going to take half of our powdered sugar, about 1 cup of powdered sugar, and put it in a bowl. We're going to add a tablespoon of lemon juice. Go ahead and start stirring. And now we'll add a little bit of milk at a time until we have a nice, smooth, runny consistency for our glaze. This will probably take about 2 or 3 teaspoons of milk, but we'll do a couple sprinkles at a time. If you end up with a glaze that's too runny, you can add a little bit more powdered sugar. If it's still pretty thick like this is, we're going to continue to add a little bit of milk until we get it a nice, smooth glaze.
That looks like frosting, I guess.
Yeah, that's starting to look about right, huh?
Yeah.
We'll do a little more milk. And we'll put this in a piping bag and set it aside, and so we can make the chocolate one. For the chocolate glaze, you're going to need 1 cup of confectioner's sugar, some milk, and about a teaspoon of unsweetened cocoa powder. First, we'll add the powdered sugar. And we'll add 1 teaspoon of unsweetened cocoa powder. Then we'll start adding milk a little bit at a time until we get the right consistency. Once your bread has cooled completely, you can add the glaze on top. You want to do the chocolate?
Yeah.
All right, I'll do this one. Well, today we made Epiphany bread. It looks delicious, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I can't wait to take a bite.
I can't wait to take a bite too.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching too.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.